evening, everybody, and welcome to our second annual Skinner Middle School Debate Competition. My name is Nate Braidman. I will be your Master of Ceremonies. Let me explain a little bit to our audience members what we've been doing throughout the year and explain the methodology and the content that we have been studying. What we do, what we abide by, our company, is we believe the best way to master knowledge is to go through a crawl, walk, run strategy. So what we do is in order to master a certain topic, we have the kids memorize certain basic facts. That's the crawl stage, and then we have them draw conclusions from those facts. That is the walk stage, and then we have them develop a persuasive argument and debate and counterpoints, and that is the run stage. And now we will turn most importantly to who. So let me introduce our teams. On my left, immediate left, is Miss Annalisa Montoya, and she's the subject matter expert for appeasement. Next, Miss Aspen Coates, and she is going to be covering the Korean War. Next is Alan Cisneros, and he is the expert on the Cuban Missile Crisis, followed by Daniel Brown. He'll be covering the end of the Cold War, and our cleanup hitter is Mr. Owen Smith, who will be talking all things Iraq. Their competition. On my right, we begin with Mr. Calder McCarthy. He will be debating the appeasement section. Next, Miss Marissa Lucero will be covering the Korean War, followed by Miss Alondra Gil Gonzalez, and she will be taking the Cuban Missile Crisis. A.J. Sanchez will be our end of Cold War expert, and our cleanup hitter on this team is Mr. Hayden Breitzman. So he will be debating Mr. Smith on the Iraq War. So let's begin with our lightning round drill. What I do is I will ask them questions, and they will have to answer as many as they can correctly in 1 minute for 1 point each. Now, we move on to the Korean War and the decision-making that took place there with regards to General Douglas MacArthur. So, Ms. Coates, are you ready for your lightning round? You have 1 minute to answer as many questions as possible for 1 point each, beginning now. What year did the Korean War start?
1950.
Americans turned the tide of war. True or false?
True.
The war began when they invaded South Korea.
No, North Korea.
Name one advantage of the Incheon landing.
It was unexpected.
What does DMZ stand for?
Demilitarized zone.
Which country intervened in Korea when U.S. forces began to win?
China.
Why did President Truman want to limit the Korean War?
He didn't want to have a further war with China.
The river separating China and North Korea.
The Yalu River.
Define lunged.
Thrust forward.
Who relieved General MacArthur of command?
President Truman.
Define sanctuary.
Safe haven.
What year did the Korean War end?
1953.
What did MacArthur want from the Korean War?
Absolute victory.
The capital of South Korea.
Seoul.
True or false, the Korean War was the first time troops...
True.
How badly were some American
10 to
units...
1.
Okay. The current leader of North Korea?
Kim Jong-un.
Okay. So tell me, Aspen, why was the president... Your question. Why was the President and the Joint Chiefs of Staff hesitant to contradict MacArthur's military judgment? Your first question, what had MacArthur done to get such a great reputation?
His judgment was vindicated when he was successful at Incheon.
Okay. Why didn't the Joint Chiefs want to contradict him?
Because his success was so unlikely and seemed impossible that they didn't know that if his further actions might be as successful as Incheon.
Okay. What happened to MacArthur's judgment after Incheon?
He got full of himself and thought that because of this one success, all of his ideas would also be successes.
Okay, and was he right? Is there no substitute for victory?
He is wrong. The number of casualties is a substitute.
Okay, and finally, why should civilians control the military? What's the biggest reason?
Because civilians are elected.
Okay, very good.